Greetings from Snake Mountain Boatworks on Tuesday, September 14, 2021. Here's an update on our 1957 15-foot Lyman Runabout. She's been flipped and stripped, and we've begun sealing the strakes. Rick and Joe set every loose clench nail. There weren't very many. Having already paid the total boat Thixo flex into the seams between the strakes, the intra-strake seams. So this boat's going to be absolutely tight and dry once we're finished. We do have a couple of sort of cautions. You'll see if I get up forward here and we sight down the keel, we've got a hog here and a little tiny one here. This one is caused by a bad trailer and being reefed down too hard on a bad trailer for way too long. That wheel support was set way too far aft. The support should be up in this area where the gripe and the keel have overlap. This is really quite strong. That's really quite weak, and you can see what the result is. We'll sand it to clean it up a little bit, reshape it, but we are not about to rip this keel out to replace it based on that little bit of a hog. But we'd like to caution you, particularly with these lightly made boats like these little Lymans, little Pinyans, Captivators, that the keel, the hull's really not designed to carry and be reefed down hard on the keels. The hull is in remarkable condition. Joe, you didn't find any rot amongst the strakes at all, right?
Not on the strakes at all. There was only one chunk of rot, and it was actually fairly small, considering these Lymans are known to have their transoms be very, very weak. And it was the splash rails right here, and where the chrome strip goes around, there's two screw holes that had nothing in them. And what happens when you have two holes in a boat that have nothing in them? Well, water gets in there, and it will start to wick away and rot everything along these strakes right here. Luckily, it only went through the transom, and it didn't go into the back framing behind it. So I was able to pick out where the rot was, and I went through the plunge router and plunged out all the rot and fit in a new Dutchman here this morning.
And once we finish bleaching, and this is here's a good example of why you bleach. I keep getting letters from people saying, well, I don't want to bleach, it all looks pretty good. Well, if you want to make that Dutchman go away, bleach this transom, and you'll see when we get to that point. So the transom will be sanded fair, and we'll finish it back. We'll probably use a stain that we found to be the closest to the original Lyman hues, and it's the Jel'd stain from Lake Oswego Boat Company in Oregon. We use pre-war Chris on Lymans, and it's just exactly the color that you want. The next step is going to be fairing the bottom and the top sides, and you can see that this side is darker than this. We always apply at least one coat of CPES before we start the fairing, because we want to get it to penetrate the wood. And remember, this is plywood, so we can't sand this like we would sand a Carvel planked bottom. So We initiate with CPES, allow it to soak in and cure, and then we'll be ready to start sanding. This side hasn't received any yet. So we will keep working on her. It's just a delightful project. It's wonderful to see a Lyman hull, or any hull of this vintage. Remember, she is 4 years old, and the hull is just as sound as the day it left Sandusky. So with that, we'll end this update and be back to you as soon as we've made some more progress. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boatworks.